Minecraft just had a major source code leak, and it means we can now see the original generation for the Sky Islands if you want to take a peek, as well as looking at all sorts of secret unreleased Java features like this world generation and even the old villages. This is even some evidence that the Legacy Console Edition was at one point going to be cross-platform, including on PC. These leaks have all been found inside of Minecraft PlayStation 3, which was more ported directly from Java than we ever realized, and so there are so many secrets inside of it, which we're going to go into today. And so, hello, I'm IBXToyCat, and by the way, I've been making Minecraft console videos since 2012 on this channel. Subscribe to see more, but let's start with the lowdown of what has happened here, because it's crazy. The full internal source code that would have been used by 4J to develop the PlayStation 3 edition leaked, and the place it leaked of all places was the technology board of 4chan. So an anonymous user simply posted, because Microsoft has ruined a beautiful game, back to an OG, and then a link directly to the Minecraft PS3 source code. I'm going to assume that by now that has been taken down, but you can indeed find exactly this on the Internet Archive. However, this is heavily copyright. 4J are probably livid. I imagine Mojang does not want this out there, and so it's going to be very hard to share any of those files without it being removed. But rather than me showing you any of those files, although that's where you can get it from, I am instead going to be showing you people who have looked into them and exactly what they found. And so with that said, here are the notable leaks that have come from the PlayStation 3. The first and most interesting of these is Minecraft Windows Edition. So this was originally posted by Turkey Burkey, but it's been found by many others that apparently two SWF files imply the existence of a Minecraft Windows Edition. To me, this implies that 4J would have been in charge of a theoretical PC port at one point. No idea what to make of this if not that. They do still exist inside of the files, and it's proof that there is a way, from 4J's perspective, to play Minecraft Console Edition on the PC. And so, was it going to be that Minecraft Console Edition was going to be the cross-platform version, working on Windows as we can see right here, but it's also very easy to get working on mobile? This could have been the universal Minecraft Edition for not Java, and so is that what this implies? In my opinion, actually no. I think the fact that if we look at the Minecraft Windows logo, it looks like this, kind of implies to me that they probably just had this as an internal test version, because if you're developing the game on Windows, as we know they did, it's probably a pain to have to boot up a dev kit every single time, whereas it's far easier to just have an edition that you can test on your PC, and this would also back up why it is that all of the sounds are muted and why the logo looks exactly like this. So was Minecraft Console going to be the cross-platform edition? Well, it certainly already was for all of the consoles, but we have no proof they were going to expand beyond that. But what we do have proof of is weird, because there are some weird promo images, but again, these are images of things we've already seen, basically from the trailers. I thought it was very interesting to see this, like Java Edition logo of a bike taken out, as well as this, the Xbox 360 box art, but in its full. Now, this is super cool, don't get me wrong, but as far as the biggest leak relating to Minecraft Console, it didn't seem like very much. In fact, I was secretly hoping that during this leak, we would find something that tied into the secret fourth minigame, the battle minigame that Minecraft were working on. However, because this came from 2014, this actually didn't seem to be anywhere found in the source code, and so it looked as though the biggest reveal was going to be the fact that because you could launch Minecraft Windows or any of the other Minecraft editions, Xbox One, PlayStation 3, 360, etc., it seemed as though the biggest reveal was that Minecraft Console Edition could have been the cross-platform version, were that what Microsoft wanted, although we know they did not, and that was kind of a shame, or at least it was, until some Java players decided to look around the source code, and what they found was fascinating. You see, Minecraft PlayStation and all of the console versions were much more closely based around the Java than many people realized, having direct snippets of Java source code all over the place. And this was a fascinating discovery by itself, but more fascinating was the discovery that all sorts of pieces of Java code that have never been seen in their full were found there, including for features that were never publicly released on Java. This is actually quite a weird discovery by itself, but to explain this way, Minecraft Java puts out every single version of the game that has ever been publicly released, allowing you to go back and look through those files, but they only include the public files, which again is not fully decompiled, and crucially, this means that if features never made it out of development, you can never see exactly how they would have worked, unless, say, someone were to be disgruntled as an employee and share all of this source code on 4chan. So what did we find? Let me tell you, because it's going to make you go blind. There are 3 major, massive finds that have been made, all by user Mr. Lord Sif, and interestingly, one of them relates to something Notch directly referenced publicly, because he said he wanted to change out the biomes and create this kind of floating islands, but you might recall it was never properly added to the game, but the Minecraft PlayStation 3 source code had leftovers of it, and so it's been restored into Minecraft Alpha looking like this. Even more interesting in my opinion is the fact that the Alpha Sky Farlands is here, and even cooler than that is the fact that you can see the waterfalls at the edge. This is the clear inspiration for the end generation, and obviously it didn't fit 2010 Minecraft and so was never used, but now we can actually bring it back if we want to. Cool by itself, right? But even cooler in my opinion is this weird little comment on a waterfall. So the PlayStation 3 source code had some early InfDev leftovers of attempts from Notch to add foam to the end of waterfalls, and I really want to point this out, the code first, because it says this was an attempt to add foam to the bottom of waterfalls. It didn't went okay. Again, this really matches Notch's kind of humor. You can see all sorts of other weird comments in the code that you can find this way. So one of my other favorite ones is, can't implement this without knowing the size of the universe. This is the sort of stuff that is entirely lost when you compile a game, because comments are never needed on the public facing side of things, but is absolutely hilarious. You know, Notch wrote that line never knowing that it would be seen by the public, and yet there it is. But anyway, if you want to see, here is what waterfalls look like in Minecraft Alpha, and here is what waterfalls look like when you apply this code that isn't actually turned on by default. As you can see, it's messy, it goes into the air. It looks like, honestly, like an explosion has happened, but still, water was going to have foam in Minecraft, and this could have changed the feel of things entirely, but again, not actually in the code, just as a funny little line. But the most interesting one of all, in my opinion, has to be the original villager houses. So Minecraft very early on experimented with the idea of adding villager houses, and they looked hugely different to the current ones. They've been seen in promotional images, but never inside of the game code, but apparently they were just sitting in the PlayStation 3 source code too. That's right, the beta villagers, the ones that we have seen but never been able to actually experience, exist, and even more fun is here is some footage of them actually being played and loaded into. This is wild, and also I think it really shows the progression in structure generation. Like, obviously at the time this wouldn't have stood out too much, but you can see now just how dated these houses look and how simple and basic and kind of like a player house they look. I mean, arguably you can say that about the villager houses that did release, but still, Minecraft went through a lot of work in improving the look of the structures they themselves make, and making them a little bit less boxy and empty I think has been a big improvement too. But regardless of your thoughts on the quality of the builds, the fact that we have access to them is the wild thing here, and so it is worth asking, how did this happen? My initial thought was there's no way this is actually a Minecraft PlayStation source code leak. Someone had to have recompiled it or decompiled it, but the fact that this is source code with all of this data that would have been near impossible to find makes this seem very likely that a developer decided to just, after all these years, get away with releasing a game that isn't being updated. I would have guessed that it was someone from 4J Studios, but did you know at the exact same time that this leaked out there, Minecraft Pocket Edition 0.6.1 leaked. This is a wild thing in my opinion too, and again gives us so much internal access, and I imagine there'll be lots of discoveries from this too, but the fact that someone managed to get access to both of these makes it very unlikely that it was a low-level 4J employee. Most of 4J Studios would have had no reason to look at the Pocket Edition, given that console was so heavily based on Java, and so I think that if we're trying to work out who this was, someone at Xbox Game Studios or Mojang must have had access to both of these for some form of quality control. They must have saved the files personally in a way that they probably weren't meant to, and all of these years later, maybe they're upset with the direction that their employer took, or that Microsoft has taken, and that is why they decided to just throw it out there. Honestly, I don't quite get that side of things though, because it's not like they're really getting much done. They're not really saying F you to modern Minecraft, but instead I think the big question of what happens now is that any efforts that have been made with things like Legacy 4J or other projects get so much easier to make. Anything that you've wanted to do, if it involves indeed either Java Edition direct source code or just how Minecraft console works but directly from the game files itself, you don't have to estimate or recreate assets. Indeed, they can come right from inside of the game. I think that this is something that makes me feel a little bit bad for 4J. I mean, I'm sure this is some bad PR. They were given this source code from Notch, presumably in faith, but given that the project is long gone, that is to say, Notch is long gone, 4J 4J have long stopped making Minecraft Console Edition, I think that this helps the community by orders of magnitude more than it harms them, and so we can broadly say that even though this isn't something they would have wanted, and there's even a chance they start copyright striking people because it is their proprietary source code, I would say the best approach from Microsoft is to say, yep, that never happened, I don't know what you're talking about, and the best approach from the community is to learn from this and to get such a good look at what it is that makes Minecraft Minecraft. And that is the end lesson I'm taking from this. But to sum everything up, we saw 4J Studios' internal Minecraft PlayStation 3 files leak out to the world, and these are ones that Mojang would prefer you not look at, but as a result of them, we've seen that Minecraft was insanely cross-platform on the console edition, that it easily could have been the Bedrock equivalent, if you will. We've also seen all sorts of fun direct pieces of the code, including those that go all the way back to Java, and honestly, this has been one of the most fun and bizarre things to come out on a Saturday. We didn't get Minecraft Monthly, but we got something better this weekend, and I'm perfectly happy with that. With that said though, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you all enjoyed it, because I'll see you next time. Goodbye.